reinforcement, watch out, and all like that. But we're in a state of having those conditions change. Like recovery is progressing. And so you may be hoping to get out of a condition that you're out of already. So the head will, yeah, it will slow roll your recovery. Yes, it will. Yes. So uh, this is the real shift in faith, because a lot of us we don't even believe what our eyes see. There's so much faith in the head's interpretation, and we were so like when I came in. I really didn't. I felt like I couldn't trust me as far as I could throw me. Yeah, my whole system was wigged out. Where my true uh, power is faith. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was sort of saddled with these old ideas from the head. Yeah, so it could just keep getting funnel that faith in its own little agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then after a few years, I realized you know, the head has put me in a probation, and I outgrew that probation quite early. But it was the one that was assessing and of my recovered condition. The problem was the one that was declaring how my recovered condition was. Yes, that's insane. Yeah, it's insane. So these things, if you don't notice it, you can hear an understanding about it, which will assist you to notice it. Yeah. It doesn't matter if someone else notices it unless they share it with you, because you need to notice it. Yes. Yes. So we share as a group in this event understandings. There's no one's understanding, it's understanding. We're all in this process. And so it can be helpful because an understanding saves you a lot of time and trouble of having to learn the hard way. You could see through other people's mistakes, the mistakes that you're going to make. And then there can be yeah, you can sort of bypass this stuff. And understanding explains a lot of stuff that would take maybe a lot of getting whacked to explain. You can really bypass a lot of shit. If
Yeah.
you understand, like the first step is just that, yes? We have to be convinced, and it's got to be a 100% behind statement that you're fucked and you're not managerial quality. Really, it's just because if any little hole is there, something will come in and go out that hole. Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
And so it's an absolute statement in a way. And when you don't believe you're saying it absolutely, that's the bullshit of the head. Something in you knows you're fucked. If you're here at this thing, the the unsuspected resource is quite suspected of your condition. It's the head that's causing the condition is disguising it. Yeah. I don't believe any one of us needs any more convincing. I really don't. Because what we need to see is that which is blocking off that being convinced and constantly, but this, that, yes, just like it says that the major delusion is confronted with uh, an unmanageable life. It just says, if I could only manage better, it would work out. Yeah.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
doesn't, self is not going to admit it can't get out of self. It won't. I mean, you might as well understand that now and save yourself some time and trouble. Yeah. Just because you had to get whacked to get here, that's not how you may not need to learn that way. You may be able to save a lot of time and trouble through just understanding what you already know. Yeah. It's something that just has to trigger it. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, I had to have a terrible bottom. That doesn't mean you have to have a terrible recovery in a sense, It doesn't have to be time, cracking of the earth and falling into a pit. It's just basically you see and you start learning from others. Yeah, yeah, and learn from yourself. It's just incredible. So,
Well, it's the process of learning how to keep it simple,
well, or admit you can't keep it simple, and that's the
or
simplest message.
or how not to get into that confusion.
Yes. Well, this is the thing because I felt when people would say keep it simple, it sounded like another order that I would have to do. I do
Yeah.
not believe that anymore. I do not. I believe that I'm outmatched, and that which is talking isn't me. Yeah, and I truly believe the third step was a decision that has already been made, and the contract is sealed. Yeah, there's no transactional, oh, I'm gonna get take it back. None of that. It's done. Yes. And then the state that you can travel as is surrendered. Yeah. Yeah. And I know it's fun if you live through an event and then you get to the point of surrender, but you may not live through the event. You might as well surrendered is much more, it's much more ordinary, but it's much more reliable. Yeah. You've realized certain facts in your life and you're convinced. Yes. And it just, it moves a lot of the shit out of the way. It really does. So, yeah. I had some, I was talking and someone's thinking when I'm talking that I'm talking about alcohol as a parasite. Alcohol is not a parasite. I'm
No.
talking about a parasitical movement called alcoholism. Yeah, so alcoholism demonstrates a parasitical movement. It does. It takes us over. That's what it does. Yeah. And
It's the ick of the alcoholic.
it takes us over. Yes. And then you'll be blaming the bottle for what the head is doing. So it's just that, yeah, alcoholism is you can't take an x-ray of it. It's not on the realm of thingness, but it still doesn't mean it doesn't have parasitical tendencies.
Mhm.
Actually, stronger ones because you can't see it doing it. Yeah. So it's
Exactly.
a parasitical movement. And there's so much obviousness to it. Millions of us have been taken over, and yet there's not millions of traits expressed or places of arrivals, and no one has the most unique bottom of all the bottoms we've all gone to. Yes, there's all fucking very similar. So the defeat is very similar, even though the defeated aren't, as we're all seemingly different, but the defeat is very, very similar. So that implies it's got to be something other than us, as we take ourselves to be, because uh, each car thinks it's a unique car, yet driven to the same three parking spaces, institution, jails, and death. Fucking alarms should be going off. Yeah, about that. There should be alarms going off because it's in the commonality, because most of the suffering and shame and guilt from doership is the being the personal doer, that you did it. Yeah. And that's just unbearable to some aspect of you. And this is how its greatest, let's say, handcuff is the past. Yes. So it has you as a doer, and then whatever it did through you, or directed, or drove you to do, you believe you were the doer of it. This is why the chain from the past can last your whole life. It's like it's the largest umbilical cord of ever. Yeah. And it keeps getting life out of us, just sucking the life out of us. Where does it fucking go? I don't know. There's no past for the life to be put into. It's a past. It's over. What the hell's fucking feeding on all of that? It's not putting it in the bank of the past. There's no bank of the past. It's just sucking our interest and attention out of now into some fucking vacuumed space. Yeah? What the hell happens? Really? How many people truly are out to lunch today? What's that interest and attention doing? If it's not here, where is it? It's there. Yeah. And just like the parasite isn't a thing, what's defeating us, the past and the future is not a thing. You can take 24-hour, 20 every second picture today, and you're not going to see the past or future ever. You're not going to see tomorrow, and you're not going to see yesterday. Yet, it has such a huge influence on all of us. Yeah, to the point where our interest tension will be moved from the moment into this freaking vacuum of yesterday and tomorrow. And what happens there? Do you think the only thing resentment is the only re-feeling? No, thinking, the interpretation, everything is re. Everything is just being done and done over again. The same old, same old. Every slight you have now is just an itching that first slight you thought happened. Everyone. There's, you know, and AA just makes it broadly obvious. You're occupied. It's either by self or infinite. But you and I are going to be occupied. We're going to be used. We're going to be directed. We are not the occupier, the driver. Yeah, we're not. We are the tool of something, and it can be either this idea of self or the higher power. But you and I are going to be used. Yeah, and uh, used by one has a complete different effect by being used by the other, though the using is the same. Yeah. What happens is completely different. There's a huge contrast in how what it's like to be used by the higher power than what it's like to be used by self, this idea of self. They're vastly different, even though it's the same mechanism. Yes. So when the confusion with, I feel, with us is we're mixed up with the driven and the driver. We think the driven is the driver. So we actually were way before Tesla with the self-driving car. We've been living and listening to a story in our head as the self-driving car. Yeah. We hear the description in the book, driven by 100 forms of whatever, whatever, but we hear it as a driver. You see? So everything gets mixed up. When they describe an expression of spirit, we think it's an order that we have to fulfill. It's just it displays its ignorance all day. Yeah, yeah. But I just feel like it gets away with murder, literally. Gets away with murder, leaves us in so many pitiful, incomprehensible, demoralizing states, or living as in a spiritless servility. Yeah, and we're making do. I mean, I would hope we would put our fucking collective foot down and take a look at it. Yeah. It's pissing over. It's pissing on all our sobrieties, pissing on it. Yeah. Let's say you're like addicted and stuff, and you can't get over the name Zen Bitch Slap. That's incredible. That's insane. It's insane. That's what you're interested in, is some name when you're in a state of being occupied by something. Wow, it's crazy to me. Crazy. So,
Did you address that this morning?
no, I didn't address that. No, it wasn't. It was
It
wasn't the
wasn't
right
the
crowd.
audience to present.
Wasn't the right crowd. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing I've gotten good at. I I follow the wind current. Yes.
When in Rome.
It's all cool. I mean, I just feel luckily I had a lot of fun this week talking to a lot of recovery and then the other topics. Yeah, and it's working. It's getting, and the repetition of it and on it's popping up in all these other sober fields, yeah, which I'm happy about. Yeah, not because of the plant itself, but the relief it brings. Yes. If you could finally
Exactly.
see you are not the doer then, you may see you're not the doer now. It's quite relieving, actually. Yeah.
We get to see the effects of.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I don't know what you wanted to read something or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Let's get back to what we do here. To begin with, welcome everyone to the reflections on the 12 steps. Just a friendly reminder, this is not an AA meeting. It's one member's view on the exact nature of the wrong is described on page 64 of the big book, and the solutions contained within. It's not an all-share meeting, though shares there will be. It's actually a question and answer meeting with Paul. And what we're doing right now, oh, by the way, my name is Mickey, and I'd like to welcome everyone here. What we're doing right now is we're reading through the We Agnostics chapter. And we're on page 49 in our big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And we left off at rather vain of us, wasn't it? And let's just refresh on that short paragraph. Instead of regarding ourselves as intelligent agents, spearheads of God's ever advancing creation, we agnostics and atheists chose to believe that our human intelligence was the last word, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end of it all. Rather vain of us, wasn't it? We who have traveled this dubious path beg you to lay aside prejudice, even against organized religion. We've learned that whatever the human frailties of various faiths may be, those faiths have given purpose and direction to millions. People of faith have a logical idea of what life is all about. Actually, we used to have no reasonable conception whatever. We used to amuse ourselves by cynically dissecting spiritual beliefs and practices when we might have observed that many spiritual minded persons of all races, colors, and creeds were demonstrating a degree of stability, happiness, and usefulness which we have sought ourselves. Instead, we looked at the human defects of these people and sometimes used their shortcomings as a basis of wholesale condemnation. We talk of intolerance while we were intolerant ourselves. We miss the reality and the beauty of the forest because we were diverted by the ugliness of some of its trees. We never gave the spiritual side of life a fair hearing. In our personal stories, you will find a wide variation in the way each teller approaches and conceives of the power which is greater than himself. Whether we agree with a particular approach or conception seems to make little difference. Experience has taught us that these are matters about which, for our purpose, we need not be worried. They are questions for each individual to settle for himself. On one proposition, however, these men and women are strikingly agreed. Every one of them has gained access to and believes in a power greater than himself. This power has in each case accomplished the miraculous, the humanly impossible. As a celebrated American statesman put it, let's look at the record. Okay, I'll stop right there, Paul. That agrees with what you were talking about earlier, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. See, I like how they use the power which is greater than himself. So that power may be right where you think yourself is. Yeah.
Exactly.
One or the other, it's just greater than what you're taking yourself to be. Yeah. So I always like turning your will and life over to the care of a higher power or a power that's a higher power than self. Yes. This is the whole point. So that the bickering about, like he says, the trees, we won't lose the sense of the forest. So the sense of the forest is truly to have freedom from the bondage of self. That's one of the big, that's what we ask for in the third step. Please relieve us of this bondage of self. So something has put itself on us and something else is going to relieve us of it. Yeah. Yeah, that which we did not ask, that put upon us, yeah, we are now going to ask a higher power to relieve us of it. Yes. So the weight that seems to be unbearable now and has us in a position of powerlessness, we're going to find a solution to that condition by turning our will and life over to the care of a power greater than that. See, it says a power greater than self. It's not talking about you. It's talking about this foreign activity. So we are going to be reintroduced to that which has we have forgotten based on the obsession with this idea of self, and let's call it a higher power. Yes, meaning if you notice in this life, a lot of times the only thing power respects is other power. So we're going to move from a lesser condition where we are in a dilemma of powerlessness by admitting we're in that powerlessness, and then we'll be moved into the umbrella of the power. Yes, yes. And one of the first things you'll see is in this propaganda station, the GPS gets taken back. So it keeps telling you to make a left, and you're noticing you're not making the left anymore. Yeah. And you know how it tries to regroup when you're going not the way it says? There's a pause there. And then it tries to reassert, make a U-turn, even though that would you make it even longer, and you don't listen to that. And then, and in this case, you just break the back of that. It keeps talking, but there's a loss of interest in it, and the loss of interest translates in like its volume going down. Yeah. So its volume going down, yet it still plays like a shadowy GPS, but it's not being listened to. That's a huge amount of its sort of power. Yeah. Then, then we do the working steps, and that starts dealing with the past. So it has a lot of oomph in the past and the future. That's why it uses now mostly to think about the past and the future, because that's where self plays God a lot. Yeah, a whole lot. And so when we're brought into the moment, we meet the higher power, or we sense that higher power, and it has a very stronger distinction than the lower power. Yeah, yeah. and uh, and people experience that effect by they lose the craving. Yeah, that obsession to drink, that craving that has the body and the mind in cahoots gets broken for many of us. You're just not moved that much to get loaded. What a incredible miracle. Yes. And that's just the beginning of the transformation. So yeah, And of course, yeah, on one proposition, however, these men and women are strikingly agreed. Every one of them has gained access to and believe in a power greater than themselves. What was keeping them from the access? The lower power. Yes. It's sort of like a doorman has a program to keep you out. No matter how much you give him money or bring presents, it's not going to let you in because it goes against its program of its self-survival. Yes? So we need to get a message to the manager to come to the door and override the doorman's little obsessive takeover. Yes? And then get in. Yeah. So on one proposition, every one of them has gained access to and believes in a power greater than themselves. Is there a giant description of how we gain access to it? No, we follow a very simple code, and then the access is made available. Yeah? Yeah. The power has in each case accomplished the miraculous, the humanly impossible. Yeah, yeah. That's the whole point of you'll see that something is doing for you what you can't do for yourself. Why not just expand on that? Yeah. Surrender what you think you have to do to this power and see what it can do with it. Yeah. Yeah. So if this was a yogic event, we would be instructed and stuck in the dead man's pose, really. Just lay down, don't get up, don't play doctor, and then this operation will continue and more will be revealed. And I feel mostly what gets revealed is not of you. And therefore, you can bring that to step 6 and 7 and ask it to be reconfigured or reused or repurposed, however you want to coin it. But I feel the faith that has been engendered by witnessing that no human power could get you sober, yet something did, if that faith is behind 6 and 7, it's miraculous. It's miraculous. I do not look out the window and wait up all night to see the garbage man if he's coming or not. I just put the shit out. When I get up the next day, the cans are still there, but all the shit's gone. Yes? That's faith to me. So the faith without works would be knowing you're fucked and it turns into self-knowledge, which avails you nothing. Knowing you're fucked and bringing it to 6 and 7 is faith with action. Yes. Yes. 6 and 7 that's a very, very important part of the working steps. I think the most important because after you stop building up the shit, you got to get rid of the old shit. Yeah. So when I was out there, one of my strategies, I didn't come up with it, I just lived under it, which was I was afraid to look at the old shit. And so I just made up new shit. Yeah. So I kept making up new shit. So I couldn't get to the old shit. AA stopped that. And I was left to the moment I've got to start confronting the old shit. Yeah. And was what this program did. And it showed me the recycling bin and the unsaleable goods bin. And that's step at 6 and 7. Yeah. Yeah, usually what I bring is the pattern of dreams I have at night. Because some of the patterns have I have many different dreams, but it's the same pattern. So I just bring it to 6 and 7 and it's none of my business then. Yeah, great. So yeah. Uh when I just said like very loosely we were gonna do this chapter, other people have a much stronger will than I have forgotten about doing this chapters after I said the thing. But yeah, it's good to keep me on point. So yes, we agnostics, if you believe something fervently, there was faith in it before. Yeah. If you believe you don't believe anything, that's faith. Yeah. You can't you can't get behind faith. You're in front. Faith is pushing us. We're not before faith. Faith is pushing us. We're being pushed on. Hopefully right now, the faith in the higher power is what's pushing us. Yeah. And overriding the old habits of being pushed by self. Yeah. But a sail is never before the wind, in a way. There's wind in the sail. Yes? Yes. So to be used is sort of to be like a tool. You're not the user of the tool. Yeah. So we're employed, and to be employed means to be used. Yeah. So we have, and the difference in our experience is not, we're not being used, is by what's using us. Yeah. That's the huge difference. Isn't it? Really? What's using us is different, but the using is always the same. Yeah. What's Perhaps there's a better way. In both parts of the better way, both the other way and the better way, trust is in both statements. Yeah. The way is completely different, but trust is the same, or faith. We are that faith. Yeah. And that faith that we are was put in something that wasn't reliable. Yeah, as it's described it on 67. Why are you in so much fear today? Isn't it because self-reliance has failed you? And I would say, why are you in so much mental anxiety is definitely based on self has failed you. Yeah. All right. What happens when you tell the truth about that? Your interest and attention can be freed from that slavery and will now enrich your day by what's going to use it. Yeah. The higher power. Call it what you will or what you won't, but you don't have to give it any specific name, but you can feel it, yes, or sense it. So there you are. So we agnostics are people that have faith that there's no power. Yeah. People who are true believers have faith there's a power. Now that the idea is completely different, but the engine's the same, faith. Yeah. So I have great faith now in that which is influencing me because it performed a miracle that no human power could do. My mother loved me very much. Yeah. And she realized early on that for me to be happy, I had to stop using drugs and alcohol. There was a correlation there. And she didn't care how it happened, with a guru or a fucking cult or whatever. As long as I wasn't drinking, she was happy. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. But no human power could do it. None. And human power had ample time to do it. Yet something did for me what I couldn't do for myself or any other power. What more do you need as a demonstration? Yeah. So when I'm asked to do something in faith, there's a lot of faith to do it. And that's why I love 6 and 7, not because of 6 and 7, but by me getting struck sober, what takes whatever it is to 6 and 7 has a lot of faith behind it. Yes. So I say it just like AA said it, because the spirit of the movement isn't the form, but the form is a reverence to the program. Yeah. I revere the program, so I use how they say it, but the feeling, yeah, yeah. Wow, whatever. It's the power. So, yep. So let's open it up. Thank you, everyone. Today, I'm happy to be back. And the schedule now be on the way it usually is. And yeah, it's such a pleasure to be in this group. I really feel it as a loving power expressing itself in our group conscience. Yeah. And we've done tons of these, but I always feel very similar. The feeling is pretty much the same every meeting. Yeah. The people and everything, they disappear, but the feeling doesn't. The feeling is an echo of something I hear a lot, so it doesn't disappear in a way. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So carry on. Hey.
That's that. That's that power within. Mhm. The power within the group.
Yes, for sure. Yes. Offered freely, Take as much as you like. It
Leave
doesn't
the
run out
rest.
of, there's no quantity requirements. It doesn't run out of quantity. Just
You must believe.
spend it lavishly, give it to others. Yes. You're a rich man and a rich woman. Really, truly, you're rich of spirit. The greatest currency in the world. The greatest currency in the world. It never loses its value, ever. Yeah. And
It
we're, yeah,
and the more it's given away, the greater the value becomes.
that's right. Yes, that's right. I don't believe you have to have it to give it away. I believe if you're willing to give it away, you'll have it.
Exactly.
That's how I see it. Yeah. If no one wants to share, you have to picture this last thing we did. There's a New Jersey has a shoreline, yeah, and Atlantic City is a strange city. It's got these casinos and then depravity and decay around it. But next door, there was a beach town called Ventnor, and this AA group had, you'll remember, the setting was in an old church's cellar with the bare light bulbs, with bathrooms that didn't work. They got overwhelmed. They had those fold up tables with the giant aluminum squares full of food. I mean, I've seen this. This, if they ever did a real AA movie, this would be one of the settings. And all the characters there in the tables all around. And there was the hope of going from 10:30 to 4:30 talking. So I was had the privilege of talking first, and then this duet show did it next, and then break, and then I did it again, and then duet, and then I think I did another time. But it was just I've been in that cellar thousands of times. I've had that food. I've had the lentil soup. It was so, yet there was so much of an exchange there of juice. It was really cool. I was just amazing, you know. I would love to speak in Bali, but I end up in Staten Island and some dark cellars and shit like that. It was fantastic. So much, a lot of juice, flowing around. So, yeah. Mm.
That's where it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I truly would like it better accommodations. I would, but it's just the way it goes. I'd have to have more gluten-free stuff there.
Well, we have a couple hands, Paul. Are you
I-
ready?
yeah, sure.
Let's begin with Kathy from Cleveland.
Oh, Kathy, yes. Yes, Kathy.
Sorry, was trying to unmute, and I guess I was unmuted.
Got it.
Thank you, Paul. And I wanted to say something, and I guess I'm kind of like talking it through to make sure I'm on the right track. And
Yeah.
it goes back to what you were saying towards the beginning of the movie meeting. Sorry. About like thy will be done. And when we say that, then we're living in that it's not being done. So
No, one thing, Kathy, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it can be being used to do that. Nothing is guaranteed. I'm just warning you about what the head will do it. Yes. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen automatically. You play a big role in it without knowing it or knowing it. Yeah, it changes what happens. Yeah. Oh, but sorry, come on.
well, so all right. What I was thinking about, then I was thinking about the third step prayer.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe it's baby steps here, but like um, I still use a lot of the tools of the program. I still say the third step prayer, but I say it differently because from what I've learned from you in this room, like lately I've been saying, continue to relieve me of the bondage of self.
Oh,
Like
good.
it's being done, right? Because
Yes.
if I'm if I'm always asking for it, then it's not done, sort of thing. And this way, I kind of, at least this is how it it works in my mind, is
Yeah.
that I say continue to relieve me of the bondage of self, and that makes it different for me.
Yeah, that's good. You're
And
trying to guarantee a future. That's not bad.
I think what we say matters. I mean, words matter. So that's why I guess I fiddle around with words. And
That's great, though. So now that prayer is evolving and
yeah,
some of the words are changing. Yes. So
yeah.
you're not asking for the bondage of self to be removed because it already is, but you're asking for that to be continued, which is a good move when there's a future.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it's a good move. Yeah. Covering your bets, so to speak. It's
Okay.
good.
All right. Baby step.
No, very good.
Thanks. Well, it goes on to say the wording is quite optional.
Yes, yeah,
It's the idea that's being expressed.
yes, yes. That's all.
And
Anyone else? Yeah.
sure, Darshan has a hand up.
All right. Dashawn, come on in. I can't see everyone in the top because of something's blocking and I can't get it off my screen. I don't know.
Hey, Paul.
It's a hernia belt advertisement from 25 years ago. Yes,
Hmm.
Dashawn.
Yeah, I just felt like sharing a little bit.
Yeah.
I like what you said about just like being used. That feels a lot better than um figuring things out. And I guess it feels like that the title of your book, it's like the escape to everywhere, where I guess you really get a sense of um how small like the mental landscape is compared to just life living itself more.
Yes, definitely.
And I think, all right, something you say a lot is kind of just like find out what happens. And it feels like every moment is like a finding out what happens. And I guess it's really nice and disarming to, I guess, hear this message. And I feel like I don't even need to like hear the words you're saying. It's just like showing up and hanging out just feels like more than enough. So,
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Hey, listen, take out take all the happenings and weigh them. They don't really weigh much. You would think they, because every one of them is given so much importance, but when you bundle it all up, they're quite forgettable, yes.
yeah, yeah,
So, because there's so many happenings, that's what that's what's going on all day. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's happenings. There's happenings everywhere. There was a happening that the cat food, it's a trip. The cat food, one piece of the food, their little whatever, uh, fell away about half a foot away from it, and the ants found it. But they didn't find the bonanza. Yeah, yeah. So there was a happening there, but the happening you would think would lead to the bigger happening, but the bigger happening was not happening. It was great. So there's
Mm,
happenings everywhere going on. I don't know, in a sense, it adds up to that much, and it doesn't weigh down or lighten really what's always here. What's always here is the lightest, most invisible thing.
mm,
Yeah, because all these happenings, a lot of them get noted, but there's very rarely a noting of what's always here.
Yeah.
And it's cool if you start getting an ear and an eye for that, because there is something quite different with that which is always going on. It doesn't have
Mm,
the same quality on the surface of what comes and goes. It doesn't. There's a
mm,
certain quality in it that's never going to be captured by the coming and going. And it's and but we're sort of like perceptually the program sees things because they didn't see the thing before. So then the moment before there wasn't the thing, and then there's the thing, and then that's the happening, and then it's disappears. But what's always here is difficult to notice usually. Like I
mm,
humbly believe a fish does not know what water is. Yeah, because they're in it all the time. And and I think for us the joy is to find is instead of emphasizing every freaking note to get that bass note understood, and it explains a whole lot, yeah, of what
yeah.
about what's coming and going. It does. And
Yeah.
it's readily available, but it could be an unsuspected resource. That doesn't mean it's not a resource. It means it's unsuspected. And where is the unsuspected aspect coming from us, so to speak? So yeah, yeah. And then the resource is resourcing constantly.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's something you said before. I really like it. It's like, how do you measure traveling lighter? How do you even measure spirit, right? Like, how can you couldn't possibly, well, in one way, you could say it's on a completely different scale, right? But truthfully, you can't measure it or know it like that. This,
No, no. The way we know things isn't appropriate to know non-thing, let's say. Yeah. You can't use the same equipment that you know things with to know not things.
yeah.
You, you gotta lose a little faith in those instruments and just let things be things. Yeah. And let no thing be no thing. So yeah, you're not gonna know what you are because you're being what you are. You
Mm,
can't experience what you are because it's the experience of everything. You can't the great news is you can't find it and you can't lose it. That's
mm,
pretty cool. And it has qualities that are much different than how we comprehend this life. We got to grab it, the gusto when we can. That doesn't, there's no demand for you doing anything now because
mm,
the now is an eternity of whatever. So when you start, it's really gives you, I mean, it really almost forgives you of a lot of seeming sins. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
What we think really matters doesn't really matter in the
Yeah.
in, in the bigger hall of things. It doesn't really.
Yeah.
It brings it's the essence of traveling lighter.
Mm,
Yeah, we're just a little flickering as an expression, but the traveling lighter is because what where's everywhere isn't going anywhere. Because there's no you can't the if the infinity was a horse, the mental state could never ride it. It wouldn't budge with one whipping or come on, girl, whatever, because it's not going anywhere. It's not absent anywhere. Yeah, it's got a completely different quality. So it doesn't demand any fucking thing. Why? It's holding everything. Yeah. I don't
mm,
think I've never seen the sky say no to any cloud ever. I have never seen the cloud get stopped at the sky door and get turned away. It's just
mm,
because the sky, why would it get upset by anything? Because it's gonna come and go in it. It's not staying.
mm,
This is, I have a thing from AA. I think it was a saying before, but we use it. This too shall pass. Yes. There's a huge amount of that can be under the banner of this too shall pass a lot.
Mm.
But that which is ain't passing. Yeah. Yeah. So would it be like what it would be like if you're resting in that which won't pass, you would be able to see that, everything else will pass and maybe not get so engaged in it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's not an order. That's an expression from a resource that's available to us. We're not doing anything to happen. We just opened up the possibility it could happen, and there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you,
good,
Paul.
bro. Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome.
Also, if you don't mind, I'd like to share a little bit of a song.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever. This is open mic, I guess, today. Yeah.
Open mic today.
A little bit of a song, not in a
Yeah, yeah.
in a
It'll be
Vita.
like 30 seconds, 40
Oh,
seconds.
30 seconds is good. Come on, my bro. Yeah.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my broken hour, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you.
Great. Great. Now we have a an end song for our things. Great.
Yeah. Also, or I don't know if you could see, but I'm at Torrey Pines, and you can kind of.
I can't see it because I can't get this thing.
You can't see it that well. You can't see it that well.
But that's a beautiful rendition of a beautiful song. Yeah. Well, anyone else? Thank you, Darshan. Thank you. Very nice.
Nobody else is in line, Paul.
Eh?
Nobody has their
Well,
hand up.
John Kay has his real hand up. So yeah, not his virtual.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
take real hands, John, here. It has to be virtual. What's going on?
I've been waiting for you to get to step 3.
Just
I've got a couple of things that they seem to gel. One is a quote by Goethe, that guy from the 17th century. He says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy. The chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness, concerning all acts of initiative and creation. There is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too.
Oh, that's nice.
All sorts of things occurred to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. And that sounds an awful lot like Frank Buckman when he said, when man listens, or when man prays, God listens, but when man obeys, God acts. So I just wanted to throw that out there and see if you could comment on it, or would comment. Sorry.
Well, there's a lot to not say about it, actually. The first part, it's almost as if, they have UFO appearings, yeah? So in recovery, there's coincidental appearances. You start seeing a lot of coincidences, yes? And you start seeing what you thought was one link, you see it linking up into like a necklace. So, and I feel the state of being convinced, which is there's no hesitancy in that because it's already been done, yeah, opens you up to what the guy was saying about that a providence will align and things will start falling into place. Yes. So I'm a true believer in that statement. And again, that's why the first step in recovery is so important to be convinced of. Yeah. So, but see, there's a way that they miss sometimes. I believe because hesitancy will occur, I believe you're not that which is hesitating. Yeah. Because when I would read these things, they were beautiful, but I didn't think they had a complete demonstration of when, because it sounds like if you're not convinced, then providence will not take over and stuff. I use both of them as a way of seeing what I'm not. So I am not the one who hesitated, and I'm not the one who dove in. Yeah, yeah. That because I love those statements, but in my case, there's a default in there that I think needs to be warned of, because then that can be turned into an order there. And how the head will use it is it will say, you hesitated, therefore none of this is going to happen. Yes. So I think it's a very beautiful, it's a true, I think, apt description of what happens. But I believe the ownership can still play a role there. I rather just negate the ownership. Yeah, on that one. The second one was if you obey. Yes, exactly. In a lot of ways, prayer is trying to fill a seeming vacuum. Yeah. And so you want to pray to have that vacuum and filled. When you see the vacuum in another way, you may not be moved to pray. Yes. Yeah. So that's my quick thing. But we should bring it up again, John, earlier, and we can riff on it. Yes? But do you see the beauty of it and how the head could use it? Yeah, as another measuring stick of how close or far you are from everywhere. And this is what really worked for me that I wasn't getting from the readings of things was the negation of the one who was going to do it or the one that believed it can't do it. Yes. And that's why we're really trying to add that to the mix, because a lot of people see something and they move, there's one reaction and they get stuck there. I believe that you could be before that and see that. Yeah. And that's what I'm really interested in. Do you get it, what I'm saying? A little bit, yes. Yes, John.
I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute. I think I get it.
That's all you need to know. You think, and then in that moment, without hesitancy, an understanding will drop in. And when you need to know, it'll show up. And when you don't need to know, it won't take up any space. Seriously. But yeah, I hope. Do you see that when I read, you will stop fighting everyone and everything, it sounded like an order. Yeah. And so what I did when something was said, and then there was a response as if the real me heard it, I stepped back before that real me and saw it as not me. And that's brought about a huge relief. That's all really we're attempting to trigger here in a lot of ways. Yes?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, because success comes from failure and success. Yes. In AA, the success is admitting the defeat. That's it. Yeah. So in this case, when you hear something, you agree, and then that thing that wants to turning into something to do, you can see that's not you. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Yeah. I don't
Thank
know how better to say it right at this moment, but it's more of it's almost as if a camera gets moved back. Yeah. And then it tries to sort of anchor there, but another moving back, like just like almost two moves. And I think two moves are enough. One is definitely not enough because then you feel like you've recognized what you're not, and that which is recognizing it is you, but it's of what you're not. Yes, it doesn't work, but two seems to work. So and that's the other topic we'll be on later, which is not two or non-duality. Non-duality is not two. That's it. Yeah. And I think there's a thing in Buddhism called dependent origination. Yeah, very trippy thing that everything here in the dreaming is dependent on everything else. And they can present it as zillions of years or a second. Yes. The same event happens in a large time thing and then every minute. Yeah, you see? So this is the way we're using it. We're using things not for the thing itself, but to bring out the second not you and then greet that as not you. Yeah, yeah, yes. So stick with us, have faith. It's working with me, and it's not mine. So I'm just pouring it out here every day, and take as much as you like. Leave the rest behind. But I hope that some of the certainty that I have is in the concoction that we're giving here. Because certainty is that, as the guy said, a certainty. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So we're all sharing it. No one brought any water to the event. The water brought us to the event so it could pour out. Yeah. So yeah. Thanks. Very nice, John. Thank you. That's a good way to end the morning, eh?
Well, we have one more hand.
Well, if
That
everyone wants to sit, I'll be here all day. It doesn't matter. Come on. Yeah.
okay, Bob W. from South Jersey.
Oh, come on. Yes. I was just in South Jersey.
I was there with you.
Oh, good. I can't see. I can't get to the.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, no. Come on. I can hear you.
I was hoping you could help me out. I was hoping you could help me out with a question. So like I've always thought that the mind is not a very good decision making advice, kind of along the lines where you're going, but maybe the intuition or the heart is truly me. And I was wondering what you thought about that.
Well, I don't know if it's truly you or not, but it's not of the mental state. Yeah. The intuition and those are another aspect of mind that's not mental. Yeah. So it's sort of like you're a radio. You're not responsible for the songs that play, but many of us have fallen into a belief that there's only one station that plays through our radio. But intuition and stuff is an example of another station playing. Yeah. Yes.
I like that.
Yes. So
Yes. Yes. Thank
it
you.
could
Thank you.
be it can be coming from us, literally us, what we are. Yes. The other one is an aspect of us, but it's taken on its own reality. So when you say, well, it's only part of me, it believes it's all of you. So yeah, you need to look at it in a different way. But yeah, intuition or the hunch or the energy, yeah, you because you've admitted what was relied on was unreliable, and the effect of the higher power is to move that faith into what uh, can be had faith in. Yes, this is, you start picking up another station with the same radio. Yeah. Yeah, and intuition and knowing before. Don't you know sometimes someone's name comes up and then there's a phone call, it's them. Yes, these things become readily available. You can sense things before you know things, and definitely thinking is really a Johnny come lately. It's not anywhere near the exact moment that it says it's in. Thinking is about a lot of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I see it. Thank you. Yeah.
Does
Long
that
live,
answer your
long live
question?
South New Jersey. Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Bob?
He did. He disappeared. It must. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I wish I could that would happen every time. So your question, they get they
No,
send
it
to
definitely
the
answered.
eh?
I like the idea of it's a different radio frequency as opposed to the one that's kind of like, Muzak playing like, everywhere,
Yes.
and
Well, it
to
is.
try to tune. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's powerful, man.
Yeah. And once you get a taste of it, you'll probably like it a lot better. That's why the other one keeps trying to scramble it constantly.
Mhm.
It doesn't want you to
Mhm.
hear a new playlist
Mhm.
because you'll
Mhm.
realize how shitty the old playlist is. The golden old
Yeah.
are a little fucking old, and they're not so golden anymore. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then those things about where you think about someone, or like you said, the phone rings or something like that. Those beautiful coincidences, I guess, are
Yes.
pretty powerful.
Like the
Pretty
guy,
powerful.
like John said, the guy said, Providence steps in and it moves differently than how we think things move. And it may bring about something with no effort at all, where we believe we have to do a lot of effort to bring about something. So what seems to be foreign will become very familiar. And then you'll see the familiar, the old familiar is what's really foreign. Yeah, it is. You will notice the old familiar is what's really foreign. Yeah, the new stuff will seem foreign to you, but it really shows that the old familiar was the foreignness. Yes, yes,
That
without a
sounds
doubt.
exciting.
It is exciting.
It is
It is
exciting.
exciting. No, seriously, what you think
Thank
is
you, sir.
familiar is very foreign to us. Yes, yeah. All right, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Anyone else, guys?
That's it.
All right. Well, I can say goodbye and yes. Bob, and no, there I see you, Bob. Yeah, now I recognize you, Bob. You were there yesterday or whenever. Yeah. Oh, nice to see you, bro. I hope I see more of you, but not in New Jersey. I'll see more of you on the Zoom. Michael Stacy, my main man. He made an appearance. Nice to see you, Michael. Yeah. Are you going to be there today? Oh, great. We have a meeting at 4:30 Pacific time, and all are welcome if you like to come. Mickey, as always, our eternal greeter and our long reader. Yes, there we go. Matthew in the UK. Dave W. Yes, pondering something. Al Vegas. Roman Mueller, my main man in Germany. Always a pleasure, Roman. Yes? Yeah. We're going to see each other soon, I hope. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Rick Rowe in Toronto. Walter, my brother from another mother. Nice to see Walter. Yeah, we've been on this Zoom together since the beginning. Very nice. Thank you. Rico Cruz, a man of his word. I just jumped to a conclusion that Rico was from the East Coast. I don't know. So he is, but he escaped and he's in LA area. Yeah. It's okay, Rico. I represented us. Yeah. Kathy, Cleveland. Yes. You're a smart cookie there, Kathy. Yes. Yeah. You don't want, first of all, it's not my way. It's going to be the way for you, however it's going to turn out. Just feel what works and start, having faith in that feeling. And yeah. These are just possibilities. You're going to be the expression of them. Yeah. You're going to demonstrate them. It's cool. Joseph C., my man in France. Nice to see you, Joseph. You're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Slap, Joseph. Remember that, eh? Right. Stephen Mack, on having never left. Annette, my little companion in New York, in New Jersey. You've survived. That's good, eh? Very good. All's well, I hope. Oh, fantastic. John in Florida. As always, John. Shannon Corkery. Annette, another Annette. Nice to see you, honey. Yeah. We got Jess from Ireland. She's in this is a nice time. This is a nice photo time. Yeah. That lighting. Very cool. Tom in Tacoma. Always a pleasure, Tom. Yes. I don't know how to get to the other page. I'm just going to say goodbye and hello. Matthew, I think I got in the UK. Nice to see you, Matthew. Bob in Jersey, everyone. Hey, yeah, we're all along for a ride. Yeah. It's awesome. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Welcome.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
See you later.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Mickey.